Hey all, welcome to my channel. So we can see today we can see what classification of structure. So we can see classification of the structure based on what. So based on this joint, we can see what other structures are classified. We can see that what. Okay, so first one is what? First one is pin joint frame. Okay, first joint is pin joint frame, and second one is rigid joint frame. Pin joint frame and rigid joint frame. Okay, so in pin joint frame, what is happening? It is also called as what? It is also called as the stress. So the stress where you can see is if you went to a if towers. Okay, so this pin joint is it's towers are the example of this pin jointed frames. That electric towers you can see, just imagine it as a truss, because and it is a pin joint frame. And if you are going to a place where there is a bridge, okay, so this type of some types of bridges are what, some types of bridges which is made up of the steels are called what, these types of bridges are pin jointed frames. You can see like this. I will draw the image of this. I'll draw the picture of this pin jointed frames. So one end is this pin joint means what? We know that. And here it will be. So this is an image of this pin jointed frame or truss. Okay, next is what, this rigid joint frame. So what is this difference? So second one is this rigid joint frame. So what is this difference between these two? So consider a plate. Okay, so consider, for that I'm just considering a plate. So you know what is a plate. So I'm considering a plate. So when I want to join this through, how I'll join these two plates? Consider this as a plate. So in a plate, how I join this through, how I'll join? So either with this either with this reverting, or with this bolting, or riveting, or what, welding. So we'll be joining these two plates through this process. So assume that what, assume there is a bolt. So this I'll take another pencil. Okay, so this is what, this pencil is bolt. So there are two members. So these are the two members. So these two members, either I am considering with this one bolt, that is single rivet and single bolt is connected. So I am considering like this. I am applying horizontal or this vertical force. So I'm applying this horizontal or this vertical force. It's not moving. Okay, so applying horizontal or this vertical force, it won't move. If moment is applied, okay, so this, okay, let me show like this. Okay, so this is that part. If horizontal or this vertical force is applied, it's not moving. But here, if I apply this moment, what is happening? It's just moving like this. Okay, moment is possible. So this is called what? So it can move. If I apply this moment, it can move. So practically it's pin joint. For example, take a scissors. So that is, scissors will be like this. Okay, this is scissors, and these are the two members. So this is one member and this is two members. Here in between this there is a bolt. So I am trying to move this one end. Okay, it's only this moving. So this one member only moving. So if I apply this force on this particular one member, it is only this one member only moving. So one member will rotate. So at pin joint rotation in both members, it is different. So if it is this pin joint, if there is okay, if you are considering about this pin joint, these two members, so these are the two members. In these two members, the rotations are different. So if I apply for this only, it will only rotate, right? If I apply for this will only rotate. So these two bolts are connected with this bolt or this weld. Now what? Now instead of the single bolt, two bolt is connected. Next, what, apply this force vertical, it won't move, but it gave this moment. So I'm just okay, so difference between this pin and rigid joint. What is this difference between this pin and rigid joint is, it cannot, so in pin joint it cannot resist moment, but in this rigid joint part it can resist moment. So rotation in this all members are different for this pin joint. That is, for one member, if I try to rotate, it only rotate, or this another moment it won't rotate. So it depends on this rotations in all members are what, different. Each members have each different rotation. So if I apply force on this one member, what's happening? Entire joint will what? Entire joint will rotate. In this rigid, what's happening is, in the rigid, if I apply force on this particular member, so in this rigid, it's same like this. If I apply force on this particular member, the whole the whole what the whole what entire or the whole what joint, it all joints will what rotate. So the rotation it at this both ends it will rotate like this. Okay, so for the spin joint I am going to give an example with the steel. Okay, so for the spin joint what is happening is so there is a base plate. Okay, so this I am just considering. Okay, leave this. Okay, so there is two members like this. So this is one member and this is two member, and this is what, so these two members are connected with this what gusset plates. So this rectangle is gusset plates, and what happened is for this gusset plates if we connect the members, what connected members using, we can connect this to as a single bolt or the single rivet. Through this we can what connect, that is this is single bolt or single rivet we can connect. So how it will be, it will be there is a bolt, this is called, this is what, this is the gusset plate. For example, if I'm giving force to this member, what happened, only this can only rotate, only this particular member can rotate. Entire beam, this is entire beam, so this entire beam can't rotate, only this particular what particular beam can't, this whole beam can't rotate, this particular member only can rotate. If only one member rotate, rotation at both the members are different at what pin joints. So this, if I apply the force on this, the rotation on this is different with this rotation on this. Okay, next what example, okay, so for example consider this, here at this D point how many members it is connecting, 1 2 3 4 members is connecting with this single what single rivet or the single bolt. So if I elaborate this, what happen is, okay, it will be like this. So sorry, here there will be. So what is happening in the spin joint is, if I apply this force on this one member, it only can rotate. So if I apply this force on this one member, so if this is spin joint, if I apply force on this member, it only can what rotate. So example is what, example I already mentioned scissors. Just if you apply the force on this one particular side of a scissor, one member only can rotate, right? Both members can rotate in what scissors. So just try, go to the take a scissor and try this. So studying practically is which make you remember always. So it will be stored in this long term memory. So next we have this, next is what, this rigid joint. In rigid joint what is happening is the same, here the memory is connected with the single bolt or this rivet. Here what is happening is, okay, so here what is happening is, here this welding is done, here welding is done like this, here the welding is done like this. So this is what gusset plate. So this is what gusset plate, and this is what, so I'm doing what welding. So welding is done in this rigid joint. If I apply force on this one member, entire force will rotate. So if I am applying force on one member only, but what is happening, entire joint is going to rotate. So what, so just consider, okay, can you see this? For example, if okay, so this is the member and here it is, this is AB. If I apply force on this AB, if I force this to A and B are rigid, so due to this load application it will deflect. Due to this load application, entire beam is going to deflect like this. Okay, so what they are saying is, due to the load application this frame get deflected. So what deflected on this load, so at fixed support the slope will be 0, and at joint it won't be equal to what, so at this fixed support the slope is what, 0, and at the joint the slope is not equal to 0. So at joint A, what it is, joint A with respect to B it rotates what, clockwise, and at joint A with respect to column it rotates. So this is what, this is beam and this is column. So considering this A with respect to this beam it rotates this clockwise, and with respect to column either. So rotation at this frame is direction only, at this frame direction only. For example, here it will be 90 degree. After this rotation also it will be 90 degree, but the 90 degree will be like this. Okay, here also it will be, first it will be here and next it is rotated, but this 90 degree will be there.